Great is involved two key parts: its open source decentralized portion association magnificent and its nearby coin lumens, which is even more as often as possible insinuated by its ticker picture XLM. These names are much of the time used proportionally, and in many spots you will see lumens recorded as wonderful eminent, has a greatest load of 50,1,806,812 XLM. And the tiniest gathering is 0.0000001 XLM. True Sublime XLM worth turns of events taking apart Sublime's worth history. Should be any arranged monetary sponsors. Most important move preceding concluding the sum XLM could be worth. Subsequently, we ought to start with a concise look at how the expense of wonderful lumens has changed. What was Sublime's starting worth? Glorious earliest acknowledged cost is 0.002. Which is what XLM was introduced at during their ICO basic coin offering. What was Grand's generally extravagant expense? Sublime gains a few all experience as high of 0.9381, achieved on the 4th of January 2018. What was Wonderful's least worth? Radiant's record-breaking low is 0.001227. Which was arrived at on the 18th of November 2014 and 2021. Wonderful lumens began the year at 0.1324. Hit a yearly high of 0.7965 and completed the year at 0.2674. XLM has a 52-week low of 0.163. Sublime XLM worth assumption 2022 to 2030. To cut to the chase, long stretch interests in brilliant XLM appear to outmaneuver transient hypotheses. Our brilliant lumens cost guess has found that XLM can climb to 0.80. Close to the completion of 2022 140 and 2023, and achieve a mean expense of 191 by 2025. 835 augmentation in 3 years on top of any specific assessment. You ought to moreover figure out how the great lumens not completely settled joining both specific and significant examination will allow you to make the best XLM cost assumptions. The association among natural market impacts, the expense of every single computerized money, exactly when a bigger number of people are endeavoring to buy XLM then sell it infers that the stock is more important than the interest. This pushes the expense of XLM up 174 between showing up at these two key levels. XL must can sink to a low of 0.97 and achieve a record high of 202. Our superb expense assumption data moreover surveys a typical of 144 for 2024. In case you're at this point unsure if you should place assets into eminent, the XLM cost projection proposes that a flitting position could be satisfying, surveying that XLM could go from a low of 0.06 in 2022 to a high of 202 in 2024. Staggering news in any case, a somewhat long theory could gather significantly more critical advantages. We ought to figure out what long stretch grand quotes say could happen. Superb XLM worth assumption 2025 by 2025. We will see superb cultivate dApps for standard people to execute XLM and various assets, certainly speeding up gathering, considering our great expense assumption. Check XL. M will have a center target of 191, a high measure of 281, and a low measure of 125. XLM will then be esteemed at 186, close to the completion of December 2025. An augmentation of 98 throughout eminence continuous all-time high. Wonderful XLM worth estimate 2026 will be the year that Wonderful will outfox other restrictive cryptos like Litecoin LTC and be seen as the most useful high-level money for customary portions. Holding strong with a base expense of 196 brilliant will experience a bullish push to a furthest reaches of 347. According to our radiant lumens cost measure, expect an end typical of 288 for 2026. Wonderful XLM worth assumption 2027 by 2027. It is typical that Magnificent will begin taking out critical assistance from the Wave Association as indicated by our 5-year wonderful expense figure. The XLM cost is expected to cross 400 around the beginning of 2027. The typical high for 2027 is 466 and the low will be 314. The run-of-the-mill XLM cost assumption for the completion of 2027 is 404 grand XLM worth figure 2028. There will be a variety of new use cases for Magnificent by 2028. which will make sure to get new clients of different establishments. Considering our XLM measures, a long addition is ordinary, which can take sublime lumens to 531, and a completion of year cost of 515 2029, will in like manner, see XLM won't decline underneath 387, and secure an ordinary of 459 for the year sublime XLM worth estimate 2029. In 2029 institutional monetary patrons will start to buy up immense measures of XLM. Following 15 years accessible our longs must cost perception shows that 2029 will start with lumens at 460, the asset will then pass the 600 obstruction and hit an immaculate high of 616 and end 2029 at 579. The most insignificant brilliant XLM esteem assumption is 444 superb XLM worth gauge 2030, filling quickly to the extent that gathering by 2030 great will be more renowned than standard portion applications like PayPal in 2030. A worth spike can take XLM to its guessed all-time high of 778, but it is similarly serviceable for the asset